Hey everybody, I just had these thoughts a couple of days ago where I wanted to basically just go over the vehicles that I've owned in my adult life. It's not a very long list, so it shouldn't take too long to go through, but it is just a broad overview of the cars and what they were. So I'm just going to rattle down the list real quick, and then I will be deeper diving into them after the initial recording. So I'm going to start with the oldest one that I had from when I was a younger version of myself at 18, 19 years old, and then I will go to up to what I have now. So basically, here's the list that I've come up with. So my first car was a 89 Plymouth Sundance. It was green. It had a 2.2 liter four-cylinder engine, and I believe a three-speed automatic. It wasn't very powerful. It was a wheezy engine. I hated the car, to be honest, but it got me from A to B, and that's what first cars do. Unless you come from a family with an absorbent amount of money, you're not going to get some sort of you know Beamer or a Mustang or anything of that kind of sort. You just kind of get what you can afford, and that was this case. And then the next car I had was a Dodge Shadow. Now, this one was the same exact car almost, except the badges were different and it was burgundy instead of green. That was the only difference between the two of them. I hated that one just as much as I hated the other one, but, again, it got me from A to B to where I needed to be. So I wasn't too mad at it. So then after that, I got myself a 1990 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra S. Again, a hateful car. There was nothing that I really liked about it. It was slow. It had a big V6 that didn't make any power, and it weighed about as much as a battleship. So I wasn't a fan. This one was also burgundy and had a burgundy interior as well. It was just a ball of blah as far as I was concerned. Now, my first cool car came right after I graduated college. I got a 2004 Acura Rsx Base. I know it's not a Type S, but I did have a good time with this car, and it was still a lot of fun, even though it wasn't the top of the line one with the 200 horsepower VTEC engine. Mine had 160, and it came with a 5-speed instead of a 6. I will deep dive into that later on with another video on this car specifically, and I'll back it up with pictures and all that kind of stuff too as I go into them. So stay tuned for that. After I got rid of the RSX, I picked up a 2010 Mazda Speed 3. This was also silver. You'll see a trend as of the newer cars that I've owned. It had the 2.3 liter engine, had a turbocharger attached to it, which was synonymous with the Speed 3. And it had a 6-speed manual transmission. I like this car a lot too. More pictures and stuff will follow with this one, but it was a fun car to own, and I'll, like I said, with all of them, deep dive into it later. After that, I got rid of the Mazda. I got a Subaru WRX, a 2013. 2.5 liter boxer turbo, 5-speed manual. Yeah, this car was a lot of fun, and this was kind of my introduction into motorsport with this kind of car. I was a big fan of it, and that's why I'm considering buying another one. But again, deep dive into that later on at a later date. And then when my Subaru was getting high in mileage, I was kind of vacillating back and forth whether I wanted to put an engine in it or just trade it in and get a new car. But until then, I needed to keep mileage off of it so it can hold some of its value. So I scrounged up some money and I bought myself a used 2002 Ford Focus Svt. This was another car I really liked. It came with the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, had a 6-speed manual transmission. It was a 4-door car. I really like this car, man. It brought me back to when I had my RSX. And what I think I'm going to do is basically do a comparison between my Focus and my RSX, just the pros and cons of both. And then I will also do one with the WRX and the Speed 3, the pros and cons of owning both. So that'll be another video in itself. Then I am up to now what the cars that I own, which is currently 2013 Subaru Brz, which is also silver. It's a dark silver. Let's just be honest. It says dark gray on it, but it's a silverish color. And then this has the 2-liter FA boxer engine, naturally aspirated, 6-speed. This is my track car. It has been so much fun track driving it and autocrossing it. It's a great car to begin with. It hasn't had a lot of maintenance issues, hasn't had a lot of problems. But then again, I don't drive it on the road that much. It gets driven to the track, driven on the track, and driven home from the track and then put back in the driveway. I take it out occasionally on weekends and stuff like that, but it doesn't see a lot of mileage, and that's probably why it's such a good car for me and has not really given me any issues. Again, deep dive later. And also, side note, if you look at my YouTube page, the videos that are the later ones are me in the BRZ. So most of my track days are in the BRZ, and my autocrosses of lately are in the BRZ as well. And then I also have modification updates of things I've installed over the time, so sound clips and stuff like that of the modifications and stuff that I've done. Then finally, my daily driver is a 2012 Volkswagen Cc. It's bone stock. I didn't do anything to it. There's not a lot to deep dive into it. It has the standard 2-liter engine out of the GTI along with the DSG, and it's black and black on black. So it's a nice looking car. It's comfortable to drive around every day. It seats me very comfortably, and that's what I kind of bought it for, something to cruise around in and go to work and all that kind of stuff. So those are the cars that I've owned over my lifetime so far. I'm trying to make moves and see if I can get something new, but I don't know what the viability for that will be in the coming years. But stay tuned. There'll be more videos. Like I said, I'll do a deep dive into each one of the cars that I've owned, and I'll put up supporting pictures and stories and all that kind of stuff that I had while I was with the car. So stay tuned. Drop a like and subscribe and pass it around if you want to. Thanks a lot for listening. Later.